have our read for the day. So this is for, this is a relationship. It could be romantic. It doesn't have to be. It could be familial. It could be a friendship. But it's about two different people. One person who walked away. One person who did not. The person who did not walk away. I think they're going to be the person who's watching this. So someone, as in you, you're impatient. This is rejuvenation, but what is meant by rejuvenation, you were hoping for a reconnection in a situation where there was no or low contact between another person, and you're disappointed by, this is outcast, but it's by like the fact that there's been no, they haven't like welcomed you back into their life. The relationship, you put them in a place of competition, and they called you out on it because they called you out on like overlooking them as a person, or maybe choosing everyone over them, or maybe just not treating them right. But being overlooked is part of the equation. You are ready to put the relationship back together, and you're upset that the other person is choosing happiness over the connection, which has to be frustrating and sad for you, because you obviously love this person, because you want to have that connection. Hold on just a second. Okay. I just noticed most often when I am done with the tarot cards, I will put them down at the bottom of the deck unless I am called not to. Sometimes I do it unconsciously, but it's I guess I kind of always do it unconsciously, but it's normally when I do it this way, it's because the energy at the bottom of the deck is supposed to be brought to your attention. And this is Two of Wands. And that is, wands are movement, planning. So you might be planning on trying to, or you may be thinking about a way that you can reconnect with the person who walked away from you. I'm going to use the bicycle deck cards. I am working with Horus today. He is he's the god of wealth and the king of the yakshas, who are protection deities. He is a freaking joy. And he looks in my Instagram video, I equated him to a happy chubby baby in a grown man's body, and I heard happy chubby baby. So if if you find yourself with a little bit of time today, and you're like, oh, what am I going to do with this extra 5 minutes? You should absolutely 100% look up Kubran and his the statues of his deity, because he really is a joy to look at. They are beautiful, beautiful statues. I haven't seen one bad statue. Well, I mean, who's going to make a bad statue of a deity? You know what I mean? Jumped the shark a little bit there, didn't we? All right. Endings. This is just a connection that ended. You probably didn't treat the person in your life very kindly, to the point where they had to walk away. That doesn't mean that there wasn't love there, because it seems like there is a lot of love on your part, and I'm sure there is love on the other person's part. I mean, there might be. This is a timeless read, and it is it's a collective reading. When you go and you put something on a public forum and you're not necessarily doing it for a specific person, you pick up other people's energies. So please keep in mind that this is a group read. So sometimes only bits and pieces actually apply to one person's situation. Sometimes we're picking up multiple energies, and it can apply to multiple situations. But there was an ending. It was a pretty concrete ending where they had walked away from you, and there was, like I said, there's been little to no contact. Warmth. Warmth. So there's still feelings. I think it doesn't matter what kind of relationship you have. I don't think it matters whether, like I said, it could be romantic, it could be familial, it could be a friendship, but any sort of relationship, you are in an energetic distribution between somebody else. And I think it's very hard to be in a relationship and at least at one point not recognize the fact that there's feelings. So it really depends on what happened between the two of you as to, as to how you both feel now. But I think it is important, it doesn't really matter what the feelings are now. It's important to recognize the fact that there, it seems like there was actually, at least at one point in time, a lot of love between you two. Truth. Swords are truth. Them coming out and speaking their truth kind of gave you clarity. I don't think you really realized why they chose to walk away, and they just chose to be happy. They didn't like the way that you treated them. So that maybe there was like some sort of a ghosting situation, or you guys kind of just faded out of contact. Maybe they were the person who normally reached out to you, and after they stopped doing that, you guys kind of stopped communicating. Or maybe when they decided that when they were done, they were just, it didn't matter if you reached out to them or not. Like a ghosting situation. You are hoping for a potential beginning. Well, let me tell you this, if you don't mind a stranger's opinion. If you are thinking, because you are thinking of making your way forward to reach out to them, they walked away for a reason. So if you are going to bring your same person back to them, then whether or not they choose to let you back in their life originally or not, it doesn't matter, because if you behaved the same way, if you were the same person, then the relationship is going to falter again, because you were always competing with them instead of just having like a loving relationship. You would actually have to take action on how and change, make an effort to treat not just them, but treat people different in general. Kind of like look at things differently when you when you're the way you interact with people. Like, there's an old lady at the store. Are you going to call them names, or are you going to say, hey, if they ask you for help, you say, yeah, absolutely, I can help you. And you know what I mean? Like, don't, like, just treat people better. I just, I just get that and I don't get that you're a bad person. I just get that you don't really treat people with kindness. That's an ethical issue for them. They don't like that. All right. What are we doing? Do you want to do one more Kuburn? I don't know. Maybe we are done. Master of Energy. It's not, you do have the ability to change. There are scientific articles that support this, but if you make an effort to change the way that you look at things, you do actually just change. There's a thing that I do, that I make a habit of doing, and somebody at my work, gosh, what did he call it? Because he taught his kids this. He called it like the silver linings game or whatever. So anything that happened, it didn't, that was frustrating or unfortunate or sad, every time he called, he would, he'd tell me, I don't know, tell me something that was frustrating him. And I would go and I'd say, oh, okay, well, that's really a bummer. But this could have happened and it didn't. And I would give him a different scenario. And he said, he's like, I forget the silver linings game. And then I talk to you, and it's just a thing that you do. But it was a game that he used to teach his kids when they were younger. If they were sad or they were frustrated or, just things didn't seem to be going in their favor, he would stop and have them say, okay, well, this could have been worse. What something worse that could have happened? And isn't it great that this could be our silver lining? And then find something good about the situation that just happened. If you do that, and it's not necessarily easy to do if you're inherently negative as a person, but if that is something that you choose to do, you will find yourself being more positive, and just being happier in general. So that might be something that you want to try and do. And I'm not saying it's not hard. It is not easy. It's not easy to go through and change who you are. It's not easy to go, okay, and to be completely honest, I don't think that anybody should change themselves if they are happy with who they are. If you are happy with who you are, then you should just learn how to live without this person. But if you are not happy with who you are or where you are, if you feel like you need something different or you need a change, and you're just not sure where to start, maybe just playing the silver lining game is something that's going to be helpful and being beneficial, because you don't have to put yourself in a place of mental lack and be frustrated and kind of miserable, because that's the feeling that I get. It's like sadness and loss and frustration. So if you feel like you need this person in your life, then you have to become a person that they want in their life. Rome wasn't built in a day. I'm sure you don't have to be perfect, but you have to make changes, because it feels like they're just not going to settle. I'm going to leave this here. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. I hope you make good choices, and I will talk to you later.